if you could go back in time, what would you tell that JJ?
I'm going to actually start with the after picture, because even though I look better, I feel better, I have more energy, I have better mood, I have some regret. And I really wish that I could have had that when we were raising our daughter, when she was young. I'd take her for activities and I would have to rest for 2 days afterwards. She didn't see it. I did it when she was at school, but I just didn't have anything else in me to give her. And so I would tell the person in the before picture that this path might seem counter to everything you've learned. It might seem crazy. It might seem daunting. So daunting that you won't even take the before picture. And yet, your doing this is going to impact lives. It's going to impact your family. It's going to impact your friends. It's going to impact the children you deal with. And to not let that regret linger, but to move forward and be a role model for your daughter as she ages. Well, a warm welcome to you all. This video is about how carnivore has changed my life. I'm JJ, I am a life coach, and I eat mostly meat.
I'm Eric, I'm a novelist, and I eat mostly meat. And I have been witness to this miracle, and it in large part inspired me to really commit to carnivore to get some of the same benefits she was. Otherwise, she was gonna de-age, and I was gonna keep getting ancient at ever increasing velocity. You've got 5 surprising benefits?
5 things that I was shocked by. 5 benefits of carnivore that I was not expecting.
So before we get into that, we need to go back.
Is that, wait, Wayne's World?
Here you are in 2022. This is 2 pictures of you taken on a Disney cruise. And I just want you to talk about like what was going on then for you and like where were you at?
So previous to these photos, I had experienced a large weight gain, about 12 pounds in a month, which is a lot for me. And I knew that if I had experienced that rapid weight gain, whether it was inflammation or whatever, there was something wrong with my system. And I was between doctors at that time. And so I sought out a new doctor. He's great, by the way. Integrative doctor, helps me with my hormones. And at this point, he had already prescribed fasting for me, intermittent fasting, which for those of you who don't know, I think most of you do, it's having an eating window every day. So I was eating within 6 hours a day, although maybe the window was a little larger on this Disney cruise. So that was my first step in recent times into the proper human diet. I had done paleo in the past and given up gluten, but this was my first step into this at this time. And what I found is that I wasn't seeing a lot of benefits from fasting. I was feeling better, but my physical transformation was not happening. And I learned that fasting really helps with our insulin response. So I got really interested in my insulin response. And that is one of the reasons that I decided to move into carnivore, because here I was, again, feeling better, but just not seeing any external results. Knowing that there was healing going on the inside, and yet really wanting to sort of bump things up a little bit.
And here's another picture taken that fall.
Definitely fall with that corn in the background. So this would have been right around the time that I decided to go carnivore. And it's kind of funny because here I was getting more and more interested in how to regulate my insulin better. And you came home and started talking about protein and how we should all eat more protein.
I had heard a podcast. That's my expertise.
So I sort of rolled my eyes at it, and you started for a half a second the carnivore diet. Told me
briefly.
about it. And all of a sudden, I don't know who was listening, but Dr. Barry's videos started showing up in my feed as well. So I jumped on carnivore without telling you on the last day you did carnivore at that time.
Well, you could have told me.
I could have, but I didn't think this was going to stick. I didn't know what I was in for. So I started carnivore in secret, but kind of based on you introducing the idea and Dr. Barry really hitting home a lot of these benefits. So yeah, this is right around the time that I was shifting into carnivore.
And here is a picture of you pretty close to now. This is taken in March. What is the weight difference here?
That is a 27-pound difference. 27 pounds.
And how many years?
And how many years did it take?
No, how many years drained off of you?
Oh, how many years drained off of me? Well, I would say decades were drained off of me. Even in that picture you took by the cornfield, I look older and tireder. I just look less energy. My skin doesn't look as good. I feel like reborn.
Yeah, well,
I feel reborn.
when you used to do any sort of exertion, you'd be breathing hard.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah, that's not as much of a problem now.
No.
So it's quite a life-changing thing. Now, I don't have a huge weight loss story, 28 pounds. I know people have bigger weight loss stories, but I love how you brought up in a recent video that irregardless of my weight loss, it's changed my life. It has changed. I am a human being, and this weight loss and more I'm going to talk about has changed this life.
Yeah. And because it's changed her life, it's changed mine and our daughters and a whole bunch of people who are seeing her progress and are just disgustedly jealous. So let's go to your list. What is your fifth most surprising thing that carnivore has done for you?
So the fifth most surprising thing is that my allergies were relieved. Now, as I got more and more puffy and inflamed in the last not 5 years, but 5 years prior to carnivore, my eyes were constantly burning out of my skull. They hurt so bad. I had a hard time using any moisturizer on my skin, cleanser on my skin, and makeup. And so I actually cut straight across bangs. I was trying to bring some emphasis to my eyes because I have blonde eyelashes. And so I was trying to bring some emphasis to my eyes. I couldn't wear makeup. And again, just was trying to find any type of skincare products that would work with me at that time. And it was just very uncomfortable all of the time. My eyes were tired and so I was shocked when just 2 weeks in, my allergies relieved. And I've been able to wear makeup now again. And I don't wear a lot, but again, blonde eyelashes. I like to wear a little mascara and sort of even out the skin tone. Although ironically, the skin tone doesn't need as much evening out since I've been on carnivore either. So that's been a whole surprising thing for me.
Okay, and then your fourth most surprising thing?
We did a video where I talked about this one. So I had some cellulite, not the worst, but I've had it for most of my adult life. And I wasn't really paying attention to it a whole lot. But then suddenly we started doing videos and I started thinking about all the benefits that I've had from carnivore. And all of a sudden, around 15 months, I realized that my cellulite was pretty much gone. And I know viewers have asked me when it happened, how long it took. I don't know. It was a shock to me when I realized, hey, wait a minute. I looked in the mirror, all of, 360. I'm like, oh my gosh. So something I had never really expected, especially at my age, which is, how old am I?
29 plus a couple of decades.
Plus about 24. So if you do the math, I am 53 years old. Yeah, so it's been great.
So that video has gotten quite a few views, and some people have said, well, it hasn't happened for me, or how long did it take? But it's kind of amazing to me that it's something that you just didn't notice happening. But that tells me that it was probably very gradual.
Yeah, it might have been.
And we don't have before and after pictures.
No,
which is too bad.
I didn't take before pictures because they've shamed me in the past. When I have started certain eating programs, that before is in my photo feed mocking me because I jumped off the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not expect this to work. Another surprising thing.
Okay, so what is your third most surprising thing?
Oh, my third most surprising thing is mood and resilience. I had no idea that my mood would be so good. I walk around happy most of the time. I know this affects you. You can chime in a moment. But I'm so much more able to just go with the flow. And I'm kind of a go with the flow person anyway, but it's like magnified 90 times. And I'm able to buffer stress. The resilience piece is I am so much more able to buffer stress. So I wasn't expecting this mood boost and ability to buffer at all.
Well, how do I say anything at all? But it's true. She was never monstrous to be around, but there would be times where you could just kind of feel her energy was just not right. Mm-hmm. And I never really thought it had much to do with me.
No.
It was really just more of just a general kind of state. But yeah, you're generally in a pretty good mood most of the time.
Yeah.
Which makes the times you aren't more noticeable.
That is true. I'm sure.
But do you remember, I mean, for decades, sometimes I'd say, you just need to go take a nap.
Yes.
You've got batitude. Go put yourself to bed.
You did tell me that, yeah.
It worked, though.
It did. Well, I'd wake up in a better mood, but still kind of sleepy usually,
Yeah.
A little lower energy.
I preferred you in good mood sleepy than high energy angry.
Yeah. So that was surprising and one of those life-changing things.
You work with a lot of children.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it has benefited your ability to deal with those kids?
Oh my gosh. I run, with a couple partners, I run a youth theater group, grade 3 through middle school. So that is a lovely time of life for kids. And it is like night and day. Mm. I have so much more energy, patience, understanding, and I just think going into the theater with more energy to start with, automatically they feel that. Mm-hmm. There's more engagement from me, and I think that brings out more engagement from them. Mm-hmm. So it's been wonderful.
So basically what I just heard is Carnivore has affected, to the positive, hundreds of other people in the community.
Yeah, I guess that is true. Yeah.
The ripple effect.
The ripple effect. Yeah.
You got to take credit for that because it's important.
Yeah.
Okay, so your number 2 most surprising benefit of Carnivore is not as surprising to me, but
but it is because you'll see.
Okay.
You'll see.
The finger point just happened.
Yeah, you'll see. So I've shared I lost 27 pounds. So there's a little bit of a surprise that it actually worked. Although, like I said, I learned about insulin, so I thought it was a lever I could push. But what is shocking to me is the body recomposition. Because the body that I have at 53, I have never had before. And I was not overweight when I was a child or in my teens or my early 20s. I was not overweight. And I have a whole different shape that is leaner, and I have so much more muscle and definition. And that's the part that surprised you recently,
Yeah.
because I've never flexed for you before. And I did it here on camera, and you're
Yep.
like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, we have a thumbnail in one of our old videos has you flexing with your ripped bicep,
Yeah.
and I still can't get over it.
Yeah.
Because of all of the things in my mind that I associate with you, that is not one of them.
What?
But
having a bicep?
Even trying to make a muscle.
Yeah.
But go ahead, do it. Let's see
All
it.
right.
Let's see it.
So,
There it is.
yeah, there it is.
Look at that. That's
And
incredible.
It is incredible. And I used to dance, and I had a period where I used to do some light weightlifting and stuff when I was young. We're talking young. I didn't have this going on back then.
And so how much weightlifting and resistance training have you done during this period?
Very little.
So that's not the reason you have that
No,
definition.
it is not the reason. It hasn't because I've amped up my work in the gym at all. It has been totally diet-based. Now, recently, and I'm talking like the last couple weeks, I've gotten back into doing some really lightweight training. Light, like 2 exercises a day. That's it. But this is not from that. This is not from that. And my aim with that is to maintain lean muscle mass as I grow older.
Yeah.
So it's not to get pumped.
No.
I don't need that to get
Oh.
pumped. No, but again, very shocking to me. I can't believe it.
I think that it's safe for me as the husband to point out the positive changes,
Yes.
but it's
Go
still
ahead,
it's
go
still thin ice because so you're saying that I used to be overweight and had no shape, but she's
No.
never done that to me,
No.
and so it's fair, but yeah, it's remarkable, and the changes have happened. You see someone every day, and so it's gradual. But then there's just certain times where you're doing something or you're in a body position where it's just more noticeable, and I'm like, wow, that is such a difference, and it really is more youthful.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to say it other than you just look younger,
Yeah.
which I know is you don't like hearing.
Yeah, I hate hearing that. But I mean, that's what got you onto Carnivore, is you said something along the lines of,
I saw her. We were getting ready for bed one night, and I was like, you're de-aging in front of my eyes. I've got to do that. And the before and after pictures that I've been putting up here will, I think, illustrate that. All right, so now we are down to the number 1 most surprising thing or benefit of Carnivore.
and this ties in just about everything we've talked about, but it was really shocking because I am a life coach. I've been coaching for ages, since, I don't know, 2007. And I thought I was doing pretty good for a while, but I had no idea that I really wasn't thriving until the last couple years. So I remember in high school, we had swimming in gym, and we had these exercises we did in the pool, and it was around life-saving, saving yourself, right, if you got into the deep end. And the first one was where you bobbed up and down. And you would grab you'd gasp for air when you were up, and then you'd have to go down. And that's how you survived. However, that to me was like struggling. You're struggling. You're getting some air, and then sinking, and then, okay. So my 30s was like bobbing and struggling. In my 30s, my body, my hormones were so deranged. I was dealing with uterine fibroids, fibrocystic breast, a miscarriage. I did have a successful pregnancy, but I never recovered. I was so exhausted, so incredibly exhausted that I couldn't function in life. So my 30s was a decade of struggle. And then my 40s, I moved into surviving. So in the pool, I think of that when you're treading water, right? Your head is above water, but you're working really hard. So I was working, taking tons of supplements, making sure I got enough naps. And I started eventually doing hormone replacement therapy. I thought I was thriving at that time. I thought I'd finally found the secret. I'd given up gluten. My energy was better. But then when I hit carnivore, holy cow, now I'm sailing along doing the backstroke and thriving because my health is not being propped up by all these external things. And because I have better mood and better resilience and more muscle and less weight and my allergies and inflammation are gone, I am actually thriving and I have energy reserves to spare. So it's incredible. I feel good in my body. I feel good in the world. I'm able to connect with you better. I'm able to connect with my family better, the kids at the theater better, my clients better. It's just amazing. It's amazing.
It's really great for me.
So that was the surprise, is that there was another level. And it's happening as I'm in my 50s. So I'm looking toward my 50s and beyond as being a time when I can really thrive.
Yeah, it's amazing how you can, when you're at a very low ebb, any improvement feels good.
Yeah.
Because of the comparison, but it doesn't give you an insight to how good you can feel and how much energy and vitality you can have. We did a live yesterday where we reported on this article that experts say that carnivore is extreme and it will only lead to dysregulated eating and a whole host of bad side effects. So unfortunately, everything you just said is completely nullified by the experts.
Yeah.
So I guess you're going to stop eating carnivore?
There are no plans to stop eating carnivore in my future at all. I want to, as one of our viewers said, I want to continue to age and be able to age longer and stronger.